I was like, oh my goodness, but we're so blessed to have that rain. So let's just take that into a period of contemplation and meditation to prepare ourselves for the message to follow. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seats if you don't feel you have already. Maybe stretch out a few of those tight muscles from the car ride over, or kind of work that kink in the neck. And close your eyes if you so feel called. Or maybe just leave them half closed. It's up to you. And let's just connect with our breath. Take a nice deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And just let it out. Sigh if you want. And we take another little deeper breath in this time, just absorbing and filling our lungs with that beautiful oxygen, that O2, holding it for a moment. And as we let it out this time, we just let out all the stuff that went on, maybe today, maybe this week. Just let it out. Just like the clouds passing by us today. And as we connect with our own rhythmic cycle, syncing up with that divine harmony, that spirit in us, we just let our breath be natural and relaxed. Just breathing in and breathing out at a normal, easy pace that feels right to us. Feeling your body become more and more relaxed with each breath. Feeling your mind clear. All the thoughts, all the worries, all the concerns begin to dissipate like the morning fog when the sun breaks through. Just continuing breathing in and breathing out. And now in your mind's eye, I want you to just picture something in your life that might look like a skeleton that you consider maybe stuck or dead, so to speak. Maybe you see no movement. And I just invite you, as you're breathing, to breathe life into it. Just breathe, just blow on it. And witness the power of creation. Faith, seeing that energy move through that. And see it begin to form and grow into something. We might wish that it becomes something else, but we know that life is being reestablished in it, regenerated. And we witness this. And we affirm in faith that it will be healed, it will be rejuvenated, it will be restored to wholeness. Maybe it's our health, maybe it's our finances, maybe it's for a friendship or a relationship. But we see in faith right now it being restored in this vision. And so for this moment, I invite you to take these words now into your ears, let them filter through your head, and let them seed in your heart. These words are, I am created in the image of wholeness. I am created in the image of wholeness. I am created in the image of wholeness. And we take these words now in this vision into a short period of silence. I am created in the image of wholeness. I create in the image of wholeness. And as we move out of this period of silence, we come away with a broader knowledge, a guidance, a feeling of being complete. And not only being complete, but we see completeness in all our affairs, in our relationships. And as we view this completeness, we help to create that completeness, that wholeness. So in this moment, we give thanks for that which is already occurring. So I invite you to come out of this time, stay connected with your breathing, stay connected with that peaceful feeling. Open your eyes, maybe look at your toes, look at your fingers, stretch out a little bit, and bring yourself back in to this present moment. And for the knowledge, guidance, and peace we've received, we say thank you. Thank you, Divine Source. Amen. Well, hopefully I didn't put anybody to sleep. Want to take a nap or something. It's so relaxing. The room is so warm and cozy, and right, we're here together on a cold, blustery day outside, and we're so grateful to be here. So, my talk today is called The Whole in the Holy. And it's I love plays on words when I do my talk titles, but I was having this vision, and it actually was inspired by a daily word, which I thought was the daily word today. I looked it up online, and I must have had the wrong year or something. I don't know. It's been a kind of jabberwocky January for me. I don't know about some of you with everything that's going on. But so I got this idea of the idea of wholeness, restoration, and regeneration, wholeness. And what came to me was a scripture verse from Ezekiel 37, which we'll be studying today. But has anybody heard that term before? I was a skeleton of what I once was, or it was a skeleton of what it once was, right? It means that something's diminished, or it's withered, it may be dead. But this idea that things, come and go, but we can view them sometimes as being dead, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe it's a friendship that we lost over the years, and there might be a spark in us to rekindle. So we're going to look at Ezekiel and kind of how we can use some of these visions, some of these ideas to really navigate that. So Ezekiel 37 begins, and it says, "The hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. And it was full of bones. And he led me back and forth among them. And I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. And he asked me, 'Son of man, can these bones live?' And I said, 'Sovereign Lord, you alone know.' And then he said to me, 'Prophesy to these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And this is what the Sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. And then you will know that I am the Lord.' So I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. And I looked at the tendons, and the flesh appeared, and the skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. And then he said to me, 'Prophesy to the breath, prophesy, Son of Man, and say to it, this is what the Sovereign Lord says. Come breathe from the four winds and breathe into these slain, that they may live.' So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them, and they came to life and stood up on their feet, a vast army. And then he said to me, 'Son of man, these bones are the people of Israel. They say, our bones are dried up, and our hope is gone, and we are cut off. Therefore prophesy and say to them, this is what the Sovereign Lord says. My people, I am going to open your graves and bring you up from them. I will bring you back from the land of Israel, and then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord. And when I open your graves and bring you up from them, I will put my spirit in you and your own land. And then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken, and I have done it, declares the Lord. So I want to just backtrack just a second and just talk about how we view the Bible and unity. Because I know I'm going a little Bible today, and I don't want you to think am I at a Unity church or New Thought church, or arrive at a different one. But we are rooted in Christianity, and how we view the Bible is we view it as it's the story of the consciousness of man, the story of the unfolding of mankind's consciousness. So for thousands and thousands of years, even before it was written down, these stories were handed down from generation to generation. But it highlights, humankind's relationship with the divine. And so in Unity, one Bible study, usually you have different lenses. You have a historical lens, a cultural lens. You have those different lenses. But then what we have unique in Unity is a metaphysical lens. And a metaphysical lens is looking at some of these stories and these archetypes and people and places. And we look upon them as having a deeper meaning. So if you think of yourself, if you've ever been snorkeling, right? And you're looking above the water and you see what's there on top of the water, and you see, yeah, that's what it is. But say you have a mask and a snorkel, and you look underneath the water. And what do you see? You see life. You see rich life, coral and fish and all kinds of things down there. So it adds a richness to the stories and the places and the people and those things. So I invite you to look at it in that way. So at times in our life, we may view ourselves and others or experiences as skeletons. And we view these sometimes as lacking or incomplete, but we have the power of faith, imagination, and will. And when we activate these, the restorative and the rejuvenating powers, with this restorative and rejuvenating power of spirit, this power restores us to wholeness, balance in our life, in affairs, despite any appearance to the contrary. So as I was talking about earlier, some of these things, these events, these people have different meanings. So first of all, the Lord, when we say the Lord, hear the word of the Lord, that's that I am, that presence of spirit in us, talking to us. Does everybody have a meditation practice of some sort? A prayer and meditation practice? And you sit and you hear sometimes that voice or guidance. It might be a voice, but it may be a feeling of which way to go. So again, that is the word of the Lord. So in faith, when we establish ourselves in faith through prayer, it's believing, having that belief in what is possible. So in the Valley of the Bones, God was speaking to Ezekiel and was saying, hey, look, this is what it looks like, but I'm giving you the power to prophesize. And so prophesizing, it combines, we think about prophesizing as, visioning into the future, right? Oh, prophecy the future. But really, it's in Unity, we look at it as just affirmative prayer. We're declaring. So in affirmative prayer, we see things happening, like when we put our prayers in the box. We want something, or we desire something for ourselves or somebody else, but when we prophesize, we're actually affirming that's happening. We're declaring it. It's so. That's the power of the I am. I am healed. I am healing and whole. I deny any appearance to the contrary. Excuse me, it's a little warm up here. So looking at that power of prophesizing, the power of prayer, with faith and imagination, right? We visualize. We can visualize like we did in the meditation, visualizing the outcome we would like, but without being attached to it. That power of visioning. So what we're doing is we're unlocking the door of possibility. So when God was talking to Ezekiel and attaching the bones, he was declaring, he was showing Ezekiel the power, that power of prayer, that power of affirmative prayer in restoring what looks dead. I know I have some people I know that are having health challenges, and some pretty major ones. And it's hard to see, some of these health issues have really emaciated them physically. And so when I see them, it's hard to sometimes look past that. And so this story with Ezekiel in the Valley of the Dry Bones and what Spirit is saying to him really, really hit me, really connected with me. Because now I can look past that and prophesize in affirmative prayer. This is what I'm seeing, but this is not the true essence of this person. And I affirm now that all of their cells and tissues are working to bring about the highest and best for what is for them. I see beyond, I see that spirit, that whole person in there. And in doing that, I look at their bodies. I view their bodies, I view all their organs, working together. In my prayer, I pray that all their organs are working together in harmony. Their cells are working together. Seeing that wholeness in them, along with Spirit, that perfect pattern, the divine. And so as the skeletons in the story attach, sinew by sinew, bone by bone, and finally becoming human again. We've heard another story like that, right? We're going to hear another one about Easter and the resurrection. So it's that idea, again, of viewing things as whole, and not being attached to how it happens, or when it happens, or where it happens, but really being able to see that it is happening, that it's already happened and it is moving, and it may not come in the way that we think it should. So with the powers of faith, imagination, or visioning, we also add will. And will is just aligning what is God's plan. What is that plan of Spirit? Divine order, as we call it in unity. And so not seeing it exactly our way, well, this is how it has to happen, or I have to see this person dancing in the streets, out of the bed, but really aligning with the will of Spirit. For instance, in the case of healing with my friends, I may not see them what I think is perfectly healed. Maybe they won't get out of bed. Maybe they won't make it through. But when I align my will with the will of Spirit or divine order, I know what they're receiving. It might be healing in their emotional state. It might be healing in their spiritual state, in that health challenge. So I don't get to know that sometimes. In our lives and our finances, maybe we see skeletons. And again, we align our will with that will of Spirit. Our first unity principle says there's only one power, one presence active in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent. And so that's what we're aligning with. We're aligning with that power, knowing that the highest good is always growing, being manifested, linking event by event, bone by bone, cell by cell, dollar by dollar. It's happening, but it doesn't always happen in the way we see it. So again, we have those powers of imagination and faith, but we also have to align our will and realize, not my will, but thine be done through me. And so with doing these three powers, using these three powers of faith, will, and vision, we can breathe life into any situation that looks dead. And so as we walk out of these doors today, I invite you to just hold that vision. When you see in your finances or things or your life events, realize that, with that faith, with that, coupled with that vision and will, that seeds are already sprouting. As I like to say, this or something better. And something better is usually growing. And what it's doing is it wants to return us to that wholeness. We can see the wholeness in each and everything we experience. And that's where we usually want to be. When we're out of that wholeness, we get a little edgy, we get iffy, things just kind of go, eh. But when we can hold that vision of wholeness, and that is the plan, then we are more established in our faith. So I invite you today to hold that faith, that vision, and that will, and see the wholeness in each person, each situation, each thing. Namaste.